A few years ago, we were acquainted with the first generation dongle from Lotoo, the Lotoo PAW S1. Now it is a tiny dongle, but it packs a punch with features including 128 DSD, 4x MQA, PCM32K up to 382 kHz, amongst other things. That was really quite a lot. Recently, Lotoo just released their brand new successor to the PAW S1, and that is the PAW S2. Welcome to PPTV, guys, and let's get on with it. So let's start off with the build quality of the PAW S2. The PAW S2 really looks like the PAW S1, but it is a little bit rounder. And also it has one new button on it, and that is the play pause button. This time around, the PAW S2 allows you to control your music on the go. So what it means, you can basically press it once to play or to pause music, press it twice to forward to the next track, and press it 3 times to rewind to the previous track. Also, the PAW S2 comes with the same two great terminations. It comes with a 3.5mm output jack as well as a 4.4 Pentagon output jack. You know, this 4.4 output jack, it is straight from the source. It is from Pentagon, so it is definitely of great quality. I'm actually pretty stoked with Lotoo sticking to the 4.4mm output jack because 4.4 balance, it's truly the way to go. So inside the box, this time around, Lotoo provided 2 cables, one standard Type-C to Type-C 6.5 cm cable, and another gigantalongous one that is also Type-C to Type-C but is 80 cm long. Now there's a very good reason for this, coupled with the new button that has been added on the PAW S2. Lotoo also included a clip. And what this means is that you can actually use the Lotoo PAW S as an inline remote control, and that is a feature that I wish more dongle makers would actually come up with, because I always find it a hassle to hold the dongle at the back of my phone. My colleagues say I look kind of like a boomer doing that, but you know, I don't care.
You are a boomer.
There is a small little story I'd like to share with you guys. So lately, for those who know me, I'm getting into fragrances, and there's this house that I'm particularly adored with at the moment. It's called Mason Francis Kirkjan. So what they did with one of their recent lines called Gentle Fluidity, they actually used the same ingredients but created 2 vastly different fragrances from the same ingredients. And that is kind of what Lotoo did with the Lotoo PAW S2. Inside the hood, there is still the same AK4377 DAC chip, but this time level up to an nth degree. There has been a whole chip shortage going on. I'm actually very surprised that they can actually procure these DAC chips, and I'm very amazed. Inside the hood also is the Analog Devices Black Fin DSP. On top of that, they actually improved the clock inside the Lotoo PAW S2, now using the AK8142 clock, and it really reduces jitter overall. So improving jitter really allows for the DAC to render your details in a more coherent manner. Power-wise, there has been a major improvement in the PAW S2. Previously in the PAW S1, they were doing 70 milliwatts per channel at 32 ohms. Right now in the PAW S2, it has increased all the way up to 125 milliwatt per channel at 32 ohms. Honestly, that is a major increase. In fact, the increase is more than the 4.4 output of the Lotoo PAW S1. For the 4.4 output though, it increased from 120 milliwatt per channel at 32 ohms all the way to 150 milliwatt per channel at 32 ohms. So the increase in the 4.4 is a bit more modest, but on the whole, the power increase is a very much welcome one. The Lotoo PAW S2 again features a lot of the key things from the PAW S1 as well, including 4x MQA, 128 DSD, PCM32K up to 384 kHz, all the usual yada yada, as well as their popular ATE EQ inside it. So now moving on to some of the juiciest bit of this review, right? So the Lotoo PAW S2 has a lot of good things from the Lotoo PAW S1, including its clean, fast, high resolution and highly dynamic sound. The PAW S2 does not color the music at all. So what I particularly enjoy on the PAW S2 is that it also provides you with a lot of power for your earphones to sound in control. There's a lot of control when it comes to music playback, and I think that is a thing of absolute beauty. But not everything is the same as the PAW S1, and I'll go into one of the biggest biggest changes with the PAW S2 from the PAW S1, and that is how it renders bass. Bass in the PAW S2 has a lot more gravitas. When I first heard bass on PAW S2, I was actually taken aback. I never expected it to be so bombastic. It is not bombastic in a way whereby it just muddies up the rest of the frequency range. It actually does not do that. I actually find the bass to be more present and also very clean. In fact, it might be cleaner than the PAW S1. This is very positive. Its weightiness is just great. But if you're the type of person who is a bass head, I must say that the PAW S2 still isn't bass head category, but nor would you want a dongle DAC to be, tuned for a bass head. I think it is more wise of them to keep it neutral, natural, so you can color the music based on your earphones, and I think Lotoo is very smart to implement this bass signature. In terms of mid-range, I find that the PAW S1 is already very high resolution, but what the PAW S2 do to improve it is that it takes this high resolution and makes it even more organic and natural. In fact, I find mid-range to be very concise, lush, and just simply divine as well. Again, there is no added coloration to it. It sits very nicely in the balance, and I think that is what you want in a dongle. Details on the PAW S2 is actually a bit better than the PAW S1. I find this is the case especially when you have different instrument, different voicing in the mid-range, such as the vocals, guitars, or piano. When they all three are playing together, the separation between each of the voicing, it's very well done. You can distinctly hear the different parts. Vocals will sound very clean and clear, while the guitars, maybe a bit further back in the mix, still renders out very nicely as well. And lastly, treble. Treble on Lotoo PAW S2, it is airy and effervescent, just like a very nice lemon lime soda on a warm day. It renders treble in a way whereby it is very present with great detail, yet not intrusive. So if you've got things going such as cymbals, crashes, gongs, where there is a lot of upper harmonic brightness, it renders them with very good clarity, but without the harshness, and I think that is a mark of an excellent DAC. And finally, in terms of soundstage, I think in terms of width and height, the Lotoo PAW S2 does a stellar job. When I mentioned about bass not muddying up the whole rest of the range, and this time around the bass having a bit more detail than before, it really shows as it increases the dynamics of the PAW S2. It makes music to have a taller feel. It sounds like you're in a very grand concert hall that is extremely tall. Likewise, because of its clarity, it sounds absolutely wide as well. In terms of positioning and depth, again, Lotoo PAW S2 knocks it out of the park. Because it's such a neutral sounding dongle, your separation is absolutely great. You can really tell where your instruments are coming from, and in fact, I think that positioning is also fantastic. If it's very far back, it is very far back. If it's a bit forward, it is definitely more forward. At the end of the day, the Lotoo PAW S2 takes what is good from the Lotoo PAW S1 and just turn the knob up a few notches. I find that the bass hits harder, thumbs deeper, and overall it's a very good performing bass. What surprised me was the clarity of the bass overall. In terms of mid-range, it is very similar to PAW S1, but it's a lot more organic sounding. Treble likewise, it is airy, effervescent without it being harsh. At the end of the day, I think the Lotoo PAW S2 does an excellent job as a dongle and allows me to color my music based on the type of earphones that I choose. I really think that for a dongle, this is the characteristics that I would like. Anyways, thank you so much for watching the Lotoo PAW S2 review on PPTV. Thank you guys so much for joining us again. I hope you find this review interesting, and if you like what we're doing so far, please press the like and subscribe button right here down below, and to press the bell icon as well to follow us. Thank you guys so much, and I hope to see you guys very soon. And it improves jitter and it really improves jitter. It improves.